Hey everybody, this is Mark from Guillotined Chemistry, back with a very special video about one of my favorite demos of all time, the exploding egg. So what I'm going to show you today is how I prep the eggs, set up the demonstration, we'll talk about the chemistry behind it, and even maybe the Hindenburg for a couple minutes. This is a good time to point out that you should not be making explosions yourself. Leave it to the trained professionals or people like me.
That's a big enough hole.
So as you can see here, I poked a hole in either side of the egg with a nail. This is a raw egg, and so you got to put tiny holes in. The tinier the hole, the better the explosion, but it's also much harder to blow out the inside of an egg with a tiny hole. And there's no glamorous way to do this, so no way to look cool blowing yolk and egg white out of an egg. And you'll probably burst a couple blood vessels while you're at it. But nonetheless, it's what's necessary. And so again, you can just blow the yolk or the white into a bowl. What we're trying to do is hollow out the egg so that we can fill it full of hydrogen gas later. Again, it is not easy to do. Imagine the worst balloon you've ever blown up and then increase that by about an order of magnitude. Being a glutton for punishment, I did about 8 eggs, so I'd have plenty for my classes and a couple for the extra demos. Now what I like to do with the egg shells is heat them up in the oven. I set it at about 250, bake it for about 20 minutes, half hour. You really can't overcook an empty egg, but that makes the egg nice and crispy, and then it makes sure it's not all gunky and nasty inside. And waste not, want not, you might as well make some scrambled eggs with the eggs left over. Delicious. So here's what I'm going to need to do this demonstration. Obviously, I'm going to need my egg. So you can see there's my egg with the holes on either side of it. Okay, so we are going to need an Erlenmeyer flask. This is the way I like to do it here. I like to get an Erlenmeyer flask. I use a little eyedropper here, and I've inserted it into a stopper, and that will take the gas up into there and blow it into the bottom of the egg. So I'll need that right there. I'm going to need some acid. I have chosen to use hydrochloric acid, but I guess pretty much any acid is going to do. We need something that's going to readily donate protons because we need to have it react with zinc. Now again, I'm using a less active metal. So since I'm using a less active metal, I need to use a more active hydrogen donor. But again, anything that produces hydrogen gas would be fine here. And of course, I will need a lighter. And then for good measure, I'll throw in a little masking tape there. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take the top off here. Again, since zinc is a less active metal, I don't feel as bad putting it in my hand. So I've got some zinc turnings here. I'm just going to put them in my little Erlenmeyer flask here. All right. I've got my egg. It's good to go. And then once I add the hydrochloric acid, it's going to start reacting. And I'll show you the reaction that it's going to make. So then I'm going to stopper it right there. Get a little stopper action going on. Again, that's not just hydrogen gas coming out of there, that's steam. I'm going to cap it. So I want to be capturing that. So as you can see there, I now have it blowing up into the egg and it's coming out the top hole there. See that? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to then tape it just so that stuff accumulates in there. Pretty great looking setup. So what I'm going to do later then is I'm going to take the tape off and I'm going to light it on fire. See that? See that right at the top? Did that scare you? So what is going on here? Once you poke holes in the egg, it will fill up with atmospheric air, which again is mostly nitrogen and some oxygen gas in there. But what we're going to do is we're going to flush that atmospheric air out by creating hydrogen gas and a little bit of water vapor, and it's going to blow up into the egg. And so you're going to have hydrogen gas coming out of the top, which you'll light when it mixes with the oxygen, and you'll create the right stoichiometric ratio.
And so this might be a good time to think about what would happen if you were to light a match in a room full of hydrogen gas or in a room full of oxygen gas. Well, nothing's going to happen if you light it in a room full of hydrogen gas because, again, there's no oxygen, so it's not going to burn. And if you lit it in a room full of oxygen gas, all it's going to do is burn well. It'll be the best match you've ever seen. Now, this is probably a good time to bring up the Hindenburg. Hindenburg was an airship, one of the many dirigibles that were out there using hydrogen at the time. It happened to light on fire and burn out in Jersey, and I think in 1937 this happened. The main theory is that there was some kind of like puncture of one of the hydrogen bladders, and then there was an ignition either due to static electricity or perhaps a wire. But you'll notice as the Hindenburg is burning here, it's not exploding because, again, there wasn't any oxygen inside the blimp, or not much. The hydrogen gas had to go out and seek oxygen gas before it could burn. And that's why, again, it was a slow burn. There are fatalities, but more people survived than you would think. About 2/3 of the people on the Hindenburg survived because they had a good maybe 15, 20 seconds before it completely burned. Notice again, the top of our Hindenburg looks a lot like the top of our egg. And so as the hydrogen gas goes at the top, don't forget the atmosphere comes in. And that's when the egg explodes. Because now you have oxygen inside the egg too, and it has the right stoichiometric ratio, and then it just flat out blows up. Yep, got the right stoichiometric ratio there. Good, now is oxygen flammable or do we need oxygen? Oh my God. I do love the egg demo, and again, I do want to stress that you should not be trying to create explosions at home with gas. There's something unique about the egg setup that makes it a little less dangerous. In fact, it's so unique that I was able to talk 4 of my science colleagues into actually playing hot potato with one of these exploding eggs. Is it going to explode? You'll just have to wait till my next video. Thanks for watching. If you like what you're seeing, please like and subscribe to the channel. We are trying to get to like 3,000 subs before the end of the year, and you can help us get there. So thanks for watching and have a great day.